Good morning, Mr. Mohammed.
Yeah, very good morning, sir.
Hi.
How are you,
First
sir?
of all, I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, fine too, sir. How are you,
Great.
sir?
Good to see you again after the classes,
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, congratulations on passing your PMP examination in the first attempt with above target in all three areas.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Great. Very good.
Sir,
And also thank you for agreeing to provide a debrief for the future exam takers.
sure, sir. Yes, sir.
So Mr. Mohammed is working as a senior project engineer with Mitsubishi Elevators. He finished the training in the month of June, isn't it?
It was in June, sir. Yeah, from May to June,
May to
the
June,
schedule.
we finished the training and he took the examination recently in October and he passed in above target. So let's start with your, as I mentioned earlier, everybody's journey is unique. So I just had a brief discussion with Mohammed. So it's a little bit different than, like other exam takers in terms of questions and so on. So let's start with your preparation. So how you did the preparation, what materials you focused during your preparation and how it was useful during the examination. Can we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, at the outset, let me thank my Almighty, sir. It's the Almighty's blessings that I have gone through the complete thing and successfully come out of PMP. And
Sure.
secondly, thank you very much, Mr. Anthony Bright. Actually, it's you, sir. And it's your expert teaching, the training what you have provided, the materials what you have provided, that has guided me a very lot to come out successfully in the examination, sir. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
uh, yes, sir. And then after, I like to I have just prepared a brief of what I have done throughout my PMP journey. I thought of sharing all the things with you so that it will be useful for the future exam takers, sir.
Sure.
First, let me start with, sir. You have also shared the lessons learned from the exam who had completed the examinations earlier, and it is really a very important task. Which was done by user, because I used to look into all the videos what was sent to us in terms of the lessons learned by the exam who have passed the examination. And one of the candidate was saying like, you need to fix your exam date so that it will come to us a kind of sense of urgency, so to say, so that we will be getting a kind of confident, and it's a countdown time has started, so that we will be knowing like by this time we need to complete with all the preparations and to face the examination. So in that way, the sense of urgency is created first, because as you said, the training part was completed in June. Then after, I was literally not looking into much of the examination point of view or preparation point of view in the next 2 months, and I started preparing my journey only from August 10th of August.
Mhm.
So from 10th of August, I have started with my preparation, and by September, I have applied for the examination. Sorry, the application to you. It was reviewed by you, and then after it was sent to PMP, and then it is approved in another 3-4 days time. So then I thought of apply for the examination and to take exam date, so that it will be further intensive, and I can get into my trainings and everything. So once I received the approval from PMI for the application submitted, I have taken my exam date for October 21st.
Mhm.
So once it is there, I have a countdown like it is like only 49 days from now. I need to prepare in a way like I can go through the examination. So, sir, actually, what I did initially was I have taken the printouts of all the presentation slides what you have sent to me. So it's like the total classes was like 15 classes. So I have taken all the slides in printouts, and then after I have started reading the presentation, because it is literally all your present, because I didn't find to get into all of your 3 hours lectures throughout, sir. So I
Mhm.
thought of, because the lectures are directly in line with the presentations what you have given, because it is in sequence, your lectures and the presentations. So then after, what I did was, once going through the presentation papers, I compared the same with the student manual.
Mhm.
Student manual. To be frank, the student manual is in line with the presentation what you have given, sir. It's in
Yeah,
line, and even I can say it's in the same order.
correct.
So
Yeah.
I have gone through the entire, and basically your presentations and your videos are the basics, sir.
Okay.
Without these basics into heart, we cannot apply in the real-time examination, because there is nothing to memorize or something in this part of PMP. We all know it very well. It's gathering the inputs from the presentations what you have given and to apply in the real time situations, because most of the questions are real time situational questions.
Mhm.
So I thought of reading the student manual completely, so it was reviewed completely from top to end, sir. Then after I went into the agile practice guide of 87 pages what you have given, agile practice
Mhm.
guide, because these are mostly into the agile part of the examination. So then after I started attending the practicing the mock-up questions from the LMS.
Mhm. Okay.
So initially I went through the 180 questions of agile what you have
Agile.
given with answer sheets. So
Mm.
when you are looking into the questions and the answers, we I'm also reading into the points which are not the answers as well, because
Mhm.
sir, we will be getting idea like why these points are not the answers for the questions in the
Correct.
other way, not only
Mhm.
the reading the answer part, but why others are not the answer. So we'll be getting a intense idea like how um, uh, the complete agile questions will be. Then after sir, you also shared in your video like mock 2, mock 1 and mock 2 of provincial LMS,
Mhm.
that was closer to the real examination. Then
Correct.
you also guided me to look into the part. So I have taken the sample question. Initially, I was not looking into the answers directly. I was just practicing examinations on Fridays. How
Mhm.
the questions are, so that it is like first is 200 questions and second is 175 questions. So I have taken these complete questions and then reviewing all again. We will be getting all the answers in a single page, and we can start reviewing one by one. So
Mhm.
we'll be getting, and the idea like the answer is correct. Even if the answer is correct, we need to look into like why the answer is correct, so that
Mhm.
it's a real time application. So we can expect, you also told me like we can expect this kind of questions in the real examination, sir.
Great.
So then after what I did was then you are one of our students have also advised us to take for go for the PMI student hall, study hall, sir.
Study hall. Okay.
Study hall. And to be frank, PMI study hall is also equally important, because when you look at the PMI study hall, we will be getting more of reading habits will be improved. So there
Mhm.
the questions will be like 3 lines, 4 lines questions which needs to be answered in PMI study
Mhm.
hall. Those
Okay.
are all. Those are also covered the agile and predictive part of the examination, sir. So
Okay.
once the PMI study hall is also done, then I have taken the exam. I mean the review this for the second time. Review for the second time. So it's
Mhm.
not only for the first time. It's also for the second time. And I can advise to all the upcoming exam takers like. So at least we need to spend like 1 hour, sir. Since we most of us are into construction, we'll be getting hardly time to sit and have a thorough review of everything. But at least 1 hour daily will be helping us in a way like we can improve our reading skills and everything, sir. In this way, I started with the complete thing. And to
Okay.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So very good. Like that's a quick summary of like what you did for 2-3 months. So you started with the slides. Then we have gone through the video, student manual, agile practice guide, and also you practiced LMS mock exam questions. Then
You're
you
right, sir.
practiced study hall as well. So just to know approximately how much you were scoring, in mock 1 and mock 2 in the LMS.
Sir, it was closer to Mock 1 and Mock 2 when I have taken the initial review of it. It was only 65 percentage and 61 percentage for Mock 1 and Mock 2.
Okay.
And when I attended it for the second time, it is like 4 days before my examination, it was closer to 78 and 82.
Very good. Right. So this is
78 and
usually like,
82.
because usually we get this question, what is a good score to get in our mock examination for the real exam? So if you're getting above 65, that is a good score because you got above target in all three areas in the real exam. And you got like around 60, 65 in the first attempt and more than 70 or 80 in the second attempt. Good.
Yes, sir.
So now coming to the real examination. So can you give a debrief on, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, not the exact question, but how the question was from which area the question was, what was the link between the preparation, what you did, and the real exam? Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, when you compare the real exam and my preparations there, because I came to know like initially when we start with the examination, the PMA questions, the type of questions will be tough initially for the first 6 to 10 questions, so that it will make us panic. Like okay, we may expect the same similar kind of questions in the next two slots kind of thing. So initially, as you said, it was also in the same way for me. It started with EV questions. It started with the end value management questions. And
Mhm.
instead of earned value and planned value, they have stated like earn progress and planned progress in a different way. And
Mhm.
to answer the questions, it is like it's not a single word. Okay, the project is behind schedule and we can expect this. The project is about schedule and we can expect this. This kind of questions.
Mhm.
I can say like the time management is very much important for the examination, as you also advised us, because sir, the first 60 questions took around 100 minutes including review for me. It took around 100 minutes for me.
Oh, 100 minutes. That is too much
100
of
minutes,
time.
because
Okay.
yeah, because sir, the complete examination questions was like 3 to 4 lines. We need to
Mhm.
read into the entire thing and to get the idea like what is there for the exam, for the
Oh,
options
so
given.
most of the questions were like 3 to 4 lines to read, and
Four
then we.
lines to read.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
four
Right.
lines to read. And there are also multiple choice questions, like we need to choose two from the five given kind
Oh,
of
oh
questions. It was like 4 questions to me. So
mhm.
because reading is also very much important, that so I used the concept of elimination techniques. So these answers may not be there, the other answer may not be there, so other three are correct answers. So in
Mhm.
this way also I took some choices. So
Mhm.
initially, I took some time for the review, because whenever I have doubt in the answers selected, I have flagged those selections. And
Mhm.
after once the 60 questions are completed, it will ask like whether to submit or to review it again, the
Right.
flagged one. So
Yeah.
once you review to the flagged one, okay, we will be just. It is also important that, because while crossing the complete 60 question, we may be in a rush to go. So rush to tick and to go, because we will also be looking in the timer which is on the right side. So it is also getting a kind of panic, like okay, time is running and we are also slow in kind of questions. So advice is like, sir, we should not be taking like more than 2 minutes, 2 to 2.5 minutes per question. If it is that, we shall flag and to proceed. And before
Mhm.
flagging, we shall choose a best option and to proceed, because later on we may not be knowing like whether we can come back to the flagging, review it
Have
and to
time or
select
not?
some yeah, time or not. So to
Mhm.
flag and to go for the next set of questions. So in the
Okay.
first 60 questions, I took time to review the flag question also, so that it took around like 100 minutes for the
Oh,
first
okay.
set of questions, sir.
Then
So
you
the next,
took a
yes,
break
sir,
in between?
yes, sir. Sir, break, as you said, it is very, very important, sir. Break
Mm.
between the questions are very important. Even if you are not going outside for a washroom or something, the break is very important. So I opted to take a break for 10 minutes, and I returned in 5 6 minutes. I returned to the system, return to the system,
Mhm.
sir.
Five,
And
six
then
minutes.
after, yes, sir. And once the first set of questions is completed, it's a kind of rush and hurry that I need to complete the next 60 in 70 minutes slot, 65 to 70 minutes slot. So there is a kind of urgency created again
Rush.
there,
Mm.
that 60 questions, 65 minutes, 70 minutes kind of thing, sir.
So around like little more than 1 minute per question.
Yes, sir. And the second slot, I can able to find some direct questions also.
Oh,
Direct questions also.
right.
Yes, sir. And there are also questions which are related to the power influence grid. So this is the
Mm.
stakeholder, the local community is a stakeholder who where you will fix him in this power grid. We need
Mhm.
to fix in the 4 quadrants, a kind of question. Then a
Okay.
band down chart was given, and okay, the progress seems like okay, we are okay with the progress, so we can add more iterations to the backlog, or we can consider this as a buffer kind of question.
Mhm.
These kinds of
Okay.
questions have come. Then some issue happened, you will record it in a risk issue log or risk register kind
Mhm.
of thing. So, and then company is transferring from predictive to agile, so hybrid concept,
Hybrid questions. Okay.
hybrid question. So what is said like in this scenario, you need to look into what part of the organization, like you will be looking into the culture of the organization, you will choose for agile, you will choose for predictive kind of questions. So these kind of situational questions are, and what is the next move of the project manager? This is the most questions, as you said also during our training part, and what you do have, what you should have done to avoid it. These kind of
Okay.
questions is on the complete move, sir. So the time for me was like, once I clicked the last question, like the 180th question, it has submitted the review all by itself before I click on to submit, sir. So it is
Oh,
a kind of thing.
okay, great. So you mentioned, like, you had questions basically from earned value management, because sometimes we get feedback there are no calculation based questions at all, but you got around
Four
like
questions, sir. Four
four
questions for me, sir.
calculation, and all of them are about earned value management.
Annual value management,
Is it
yes.
earned value management from a predictive perspective or an agile perspective, they asked, or both?
No, sir. Annual value management was from predictive perspective
Predictive
only.
perspective. So because
Yes,
like
sir.
in the class also we are focusing on predictive. We are also discussing agile. We are focusing on both predictive and agile, so that those who are watching this video, they will know, yes, earned value management, that really focus, there is a chance to get more number of questions. And you mentioned you got like hotspot based questions, meaning you have to choose on the graph. They will give you the power interest grid and choose. You have to click
Yes,
on the
sir.
graph, right? So whether you will put
Yes,
in the
sir.
first quadrant or second quadrant depends on
You
the
are right, sir.
stakeholder you are having,
A box will
right?
be there on the side, and we need to just click and drag the box to the quadrant, in the appropriate quadrant.
It's a drag and drop, like you have to drag that stakeholder to the appropriate quadrant.
Appropriate. Yes, sir.
Oh,
You are right,
okay,
sir.
fine. So that's
And
easy.
match the following questions, like 3 4 match the followings,
3 4
in
mesh.
terms of the risk, sir. What kind of risk is I mean, the avoidance of the risk strategies, like it is getting avoided or mitigated.
Oh, okay. Risk
Yes, that kind of
strategies is about
strategies.
match the following.
Match
Okay,
the following.
right.
I got like 3 questions from that point of questions.
Oh, great. Okay, risk also few questions. Now,
Yeah.
most of the questions you got in the examination are from predictive or agile or hybrid, or what percentage you will put for these three areas?
Sir, mostly I can say like 70% is on the agile concepts, sir. Hybrid and agile.
70%. Oh,
70%.
70% hybrid and agile. Okay.
Hybrid and agile. Yeah. Mostly into
30%.
it is like from predictive they are moving to agile, and then the Scrum artifacts, mostly on the Scrum part of it, sir. Scrum part of it.
Okay.
Uh, Scrum,
Mainly Scrum management,
Scrum
Scrum methodology.
management. Scrum
Okay,
methodology, completely on
very
Scrum
good.
methodology. But the questions are like bigger questions, sir.
Bigger
Three,
question.
yeah, 2 3 lines maximum, and then to choose. Then again, the direct questions relates to the norming stage, forming stage, in which
Okay,
stage
the
the
team
team is in.
development stages.
Then the team development, but the questions are like 3 4 lines, but
Hmm.
single line answers.
Single line
Norming,
answers. You have to
forming,
read a lot, but
single
the
line.
answer is very simple. Right.
Answer is very
So
simple, sir.
I want to ask this question to you. You are basically a construction professional. So
Yes, sir.
you, before the training, you haven't got experience in agile project management, isn't it? So
Sure, yes, sir.
yeah, go ahead. So
Yes, sir.
my
Sir, you are
question is,
exactly. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Yes.
My question is, have you felt any difficulty to answer the agile questions in the exam, or the training and the agile practice guide, what you read is enough to answer the agile questions in the examination?
Yes, sir. Sir, as you rightly said, I am in the construction field. Even before start of the examination, I do not know the exact like meaning behind what is agile, sir. And sir,
Before
if you
starting
were
the training or
before
the
starting
exam?
the training, because I was knowing
Training.
the agile, but agile is basically, it's a mindset, like how it is like, and most software organizations are into
Development.
agile concepts. So your training towards agile concept is very clear, sir, very clear and very precise, that only if you read the contents what you have given to us is enough
Mhm.
for the examination, sir,
Okay.
in terms of agile. And in addition that, you have also given agile video, if you remember, sir,
Yes.
2.5 hours, I mean,
Yes.
that is also covering the entire concepts of agile. That itself is sufficient. The agile video, the agile practice guide, then 180 questions of agile, that is sufficient.
That is sufficient. So you haven't
That is
got any
sufficient.
difficulty in answering agile questions in the
Not
real
at all,
exam.
sir. I can even say like that is easier than the predictive part, sir, because the concepts are mostly repeated, and once the concepts are taken in, the answers are very easy.
Yeah, so I specifically asked this question because most of the professionals joining our training, they don't have agile experience. So maybe, as you mentioned, first time they are coming to know in detail about agile during the training. So there's also assurance to them, if they do proper preparation with the agile video, Agile practice guide, and the 180 questions. They will be able to answer most of the Agile questions correctly.
You're right, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, right. So
And,
now when it comes to the subject, process, people, business environment. So yes, business environment is very less. Process and people, like where the main focus was in the exam, or equally focused on process and people.
sir, I can say for process and people, it is more focus on the people part, sir. People
People
part.
part.
People
Okay,
part, and also I can. It is also equally contributed to the process as well. Process as well. But
okay.
people, yeah, people is mostly into the picture. People was mostly into the picture. The
Mhm,
situations are like, okay, a conflict is there. How the project manager will be managing this conflict,
mhm, mhm,
managing conflict. And it is also, there were questions like, if the project manager is there, there is a conflict between the team executing the thing, so that he will be just looking, he will be just sitting aside and visiting to it. And since it is a self-management team, so cross-functional team, whether he will be sitting aside or he will be involving, or he will be
mhm.
allowing them to solve it by himself
Themselves.
itself,
Okay.
the team by itself kind of thing was there.
Okay, great. So mostly like people, but process focus was also there in the examination.
Yes, sir. Process focus is also there in the exam, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
Have you? Yeah, go
yes,
ahead.
sir. Please, sir. So, because I have just after the examination on the same day, I have just chosen a kind of questions what has been there. I can just list out for you. Sir, it
Your
was like,
okay. Your
yes,
video
sir.
is off, Mohammed. It's
Really, sir.
okay. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Sir,
ahead, please.
yes, sir. There are part of risks. The risk part is covered, sir. The quality management, the risk part, then the Scrum part, then again mathematical questions and n value analysis, then what in case if risk is felt, or it needs to be updated in the risk register, issue law kind of thing. These questions are in the process are mostly concentrated.
Okay. So quality, risk, and risk and issue
Conflict.
difference between them.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then in the people side, you mentioned conflict management and like what type of team you are managing, self-organizing team. Then what is the role as a project manager, something like that,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yeah,
So
in that sense, yes.
most of the questions were asked from a project manager's perspective or a team's perspective. Like when you answer a question, the question is from as a project manager, what you'll do here, or as a product owner, what you'll do here. From the perspective of which person, questions
So
were
mostly it was into the project manager's perspective.
mostly
You as a
project
project
managers
manager, what will be your next step? And you as a
Okay,
project manager, you have failed somewhere, so what would have been done to avoid the failure as a
okay. So
project
from a
manager?
project manager, very good, great.
Yes, sir.
So now, what is your final advice, like for the future exam takers, if they want to pass the exam like you in the first attempt with good scores, I mean, above target in all three areas, what will be your advice?
Yes, sir. My advice, like, sir, actually let them take the exam date first, sir. First thing, exam
Mhm.
date first, so that it will create a sense of urgency. First thing. The second thing is at least 1 hour daily practice, sir. There should not be any gap, so that it will be a continuous move.
Mhm.
And the thirdly, sir, the materials what we have and what you have provided is sufficient for the examination, sir.
Okay,
There is nothing else to look into, like there is some application in the mobile, any other thing is not required at all. What this is what I can say, sir. The student manual what you have provided, your videos, the training presentations, then the
Mhm.
Mark 2 and 3, Mark 0. Zero is also important, sir, because sir, zero is all concept wise.
Concepts.
Concept
Okay,
wise. So 1 and 2, Mark 1 and 2 very important. Then I can advise to go for the PMS
study
study
hall.
hall, sir, because
Oh,
study hall and this thing is more or less equally important, but we will be getting more of a reading habit, and we can expect a similar kind of situations in the examination, sir. So
okay,
in case if the questions are of 2 line, 1 line, then it's okay. Then if you are to face with the bigger one, then better to go for study hall kind of
study
thing,
hall.
sir.
Very
And
good.
your 180 questions of agile, including the video. So
Okay, so
it's sufficient, sir. And I can advise, like, let us not wait for the preparation part of it. It's like 2 months of preparation itself is sufficient, sir, with all the materials what you have provided.
two
And
months of
1 hour
preparation.
per day, 2 months is sufficient, sir, to take the examination.
Okay. Have you followed the study plan what I gave you, or you prepared your own plan too? study?
Sir, initially, to be frank, sir, initially I have started doing the study plan what you have given me, but I couldn't able to go exactly with that, sir. So I just thought of doing from first starting from your video in the sense, sir, your presentation. I have gone to all the presentations what you have got, because I
Presentation
have
and you
the
did.
printout presentations, and if there are doubts in the presentation, because I went back to your video for end value management, then decision tree analysis. I have gone wherever there is doubt. Yeah, we know where which part of a video will be covering this part of the question, so that I have gone there to look into your video to get some more ideas. Then after what
Great.
happened was the student manual. Then comes to the mock-up examinations. Sir. In
Great.
that way, I prepared
Very good.
predictive and agile,
Ajay,
and it helped me a lot, sir. Really, thank you, sir,
great.
for your
You are
success,
welcome.
for your support throughout.
And
Yes, sir.
I have to really thank you to provide a detailed debrief. I'm sure those who are going to watch this video will get a full benefit and they will prepare in the right direction. And all the information, it's a power packed in our video, I'll say. So a lot of information you have provided. And thank you very much for taking your time
Thank
during
you.
the weekend and providing a debrief to us. And all the
Thank you,
best.
sir.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you
Have
very
a
much, sir.
good weekend. See you.
Thank you, sir. See you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Bye, sir.
Bye. See you.
Bye, sir.